The Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO, Russian President Vladimir Putin met his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping and hailed the country's partnership. Both Putin and Xi commended the grouping's expanding membership as well, which includes Central Asian countries as well as India and Iran. Also, member-in-waiting Belarus. During the televised remarks before the bilateral meeting with Xi, Putin elaborated on the relationship between Moscow and Beijing.
Не раз с полным на то основанием констатировали, что
it has been stated more than once, and with good reason, that Russian-Chinese relations of comprehensive partnership and strategic interaction are experiencing the best period in their history. They are built on the principles of equality, mutual benefit, and respect for each other's sovereignty. Our cooperation is not aimed against anyone. We do not create any blocs or alliances. We simply act in the interests of our people.
Xi in turn referred to the turbulent international situation and external environment.
In the face of a far from simple international situation and external environment, we need to maintain a commitment to eternal friendship, work hard for the well-being of the people, enhance the unique values of China-Russian relations, cultivate new drivers of cooperation, and make tireless efforts to protect our legitimate rights and interests as well as fundamental norms of international relations.
This is Xi and Putin's second meeting in 2 months. The two countries are facing the heat of a West over their regional policies. China for what United States calls its increasingly assertive action in the Asia-Pacific region and its policy towards Taiwan. Russia for, of course, its ongoing war in Ukraine. Besides Xi, Putin also met Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev and Turkish leader Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Erdogan offered to help end Russia-Ukraine war. Xi also held a meeting with the Kazakh president. The Chinese president also met with his Azerbaijani counterpart Ilham Aliyev. The bloc was founded by China and Russia as a counterpoint to Western might. This year's SCO meet, it's particularly important for China as the country is going to get the presidency of the bloc after 7 years. All right, as you can see, these are the live visuals that we're getting right now from Astana in Kazakhstan. These are the SCO members who have convened for the SCO summit here. As I mentioned earlier, this year, this visit is very significant for China, which will be taking over presidency of the grouping after 7 years. For more on this, we also have with us our correspondent Anas Malik, who's now joining us live from Astana. Anas, thank you so much for joining us. We just got the live visuals from Astana as well. What can you tell us? What is the mood like on ground?
Well, it's festive here in Astana as we speak because Astana is hosting the first, for the first time in 7 years, the SCO summit. The last time it hosted the SCO summit was in 2017, and at that point of time, both India and Pakistan became full members of the organization. During this summit, it's particularly important for Astana for 2 reasons. First, that Belarus is becoming a full member of the organization of the grouping, and at the end of the Astana declaration, Belarus will be made as a full member. Second, which is also very important, is the fact that the SCO Plus meeting, a first, is being held, and Astana gets to host that as well. The SCO Plus format means that there will be 10, in fact, SCO member countries, plus the UAE, the Qataris, the Mongolians, we've got the Turks and the Azerbaijan, and along with the United Nations Secretary General in participation for the SCO Plus meeting. The SCO Plus meeting is set to begin at about 2:30 p.m. local time, and it will last till about 5 p.m. local time. But all in all, for the SCO heads of states meeting that is to begin very shortly, as you're seeing in those visuals, the family photo has just taken place, and it will formally begin as and when the comment by the host is made, that is by the Kazakh president.
Right. Anas, I also wanted to discuss what would you say are some of the top things on the agenda for the SCO summit this time?
Well, there are 20 resolutions that will be agreed upon in the Astana Declaration, and 3 big chunks of statements that will be made by the heads of states. That's what we know. The key area of focus by the Kazakh side has been with regards to multilateral cooperation. It has been with regards to ensuring security cooperation and economic cooperation, a joint investment fund, an SCO investment fund that has been proposed by the Kazakh side. That's also in the works. So that is their area of focus. Then the SCO structure for border mechanisms, the development strategy, that will also be deliberated. So multiple areas of focus here in the SCO meeting, and the conclusion, upon the conclusion of which we would know that how many on which there is a consensus on, because remember, SCO is a consensus-based body, it's not a majority body, so all of the members would have to be in agreement in order for a proposal to get through.
Right, absolutely. Anas, do stay on with us. I just wanted to let our viewers know that these are the live visuals that we're getting right now from Astana as well. The members have convened, as Anas as well mentioned, that the meeting is set to begin in a short while from now. As you could see on your screens right now, that was Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russian President Vladimir Putin has held many meetings in the lead up to this event. This was the second meeting between Xi Jinping and Putin as well. They also hailed the stable Russia-China ties as well as the expansion of the SCO grouping. These are the live visuals that we're getting from Astana right now. All right, Anas, coming back to you now. We just got the live visuals. We saw Russian President Vladimir Putin in the main hall as well. Now, Anas, we discussed this earlier as well, as I mentioned earlier in the read as well, that at this meeting, it holds significance for China especially. We also saw some bilaterals between Russian President and Chinese President Xi Jinping. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the Russian president is on a spree of bilateral meetings. He arrived yesterday morning. It's been about 24 hours, and since his arrival, he's already held multiple meetings. He's held a bilateral meeting with the Chinese president. He's held a bilateral meeting with the Azerbaijan president. He's held a bilateral meeting with the Pakistani prime minister. So we would be expecting more and more bilateral meetings to happen on their part. That being said, on the first part of your question, yes, this is particularly important for China for 2 very reasons. First is with regards to the Russian proposal that was put forward in 2022 to have a common currency for trade within or among SCO nations. That, in case if there is a consensus on there, then that can prove to be a game changer, because that essentially means that the SCO grouping that comprises 40% of the world's population and almost 1/3 of the world's GDP, that's about 32% of the GDP, they will be going for a common currency trade. That means de-dollarizing the region. That means they're more becoming a region focused and being more dependent on the region rather than being focused on the West. That's something that will be very closely watched out. That being said, the other proposal that I think particularly is very important is with regards to the joint border issues mechanism, the proposal that is here, and of course with regards to the food strategy bit, the food shortage strategy bit, that will be deliberated upon. And in case if there is a consensus on that document, as and when it comes through, that will also be very interesting. One thing that is pertinent to mention over here is that an agreement for environmental protection has just been signed here at Astana, just a short while back before the summit has formally kicks off. So that means the SCO member states have agreed upon jointly to protect each other country's environment going forward from this very moment.
All right. Well, Anas, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. You're in Astana, of course. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.